Book of Sirach, chapter 27, and verse 6 and 7. The fruit declared if the tree have been dressed, so is the utterance of a conceit in the heart of man. Praise no man before thou hearest him speak, for this is the trial of men. Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rekahagwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the icons that's pushing the truth with sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then those that cleave to the body. And I want to get into a lesson today about an admonishment of sharing videos without watching them. Sharing videos without watching them. Now, we understand that there's teachers in Israel. We have apostles and elders and bishops that set up, all right, that we know that the Spirit of the Lord is working with them to teach, you know, us younger ones and everybody that's engaged or involved, all right? But even when the Bereans and Paul, you know, went into the Bereans, they searched the scripture, all right, to see if those things were so. But more or less in this video, if, you know, it's just an admonishment. If you're sharing videos, all right, and haven't watched them, what like, you know, what good that does, all right? Because a man can slip in his speech, right? And I slip in my speech, you know, or the video. A man can go off in a video, right? But just because you go off, it don't mean you're a man of the Lord. You gon' misspeak, all right? And brothers will watch it and then admonish you, okay? Reprove you, you see? But if you didn't watch the video, you don't know what the brother said. Oh, this title, I'ma just share the video because this title seem as if I can relate to it, or it's something I'm going through right now. I done title lessons, and I know other brothers have did it as well. I have titled lessons, but the Spirit brought it somewhere completely different. You can title the lesson before the live, and then during the lesson, you really don't talk about that, man. So if you shared it because of the title of this, and you want, you know, you may have people that's subscribers that's, you know, serious about the Lord, that's subscribing to you, and then you give them a lesson on this, they're gonna be led that this is the spirit of the title of the lesson, but it can be something else. And then again, you can have this situation occur, all right? This is Sirach. This won't be long, all right? This just an admonishment. Oh, you know, I'm gonna share the video. It's the apostles and elders, you know, and you just sharing a bunch of videos of new people, you know, up and coming upstarts, novices. You don't know what they saying on the lesson, man. You know, now there are brothers that's established and rooted, all right, in the ground of faith, you know, and we, because, you know, we are watchmen. So we're watching lessons, we're watching elders, we're watching brothers who do lessons, you know, and have in the past have established themselves to teach the word of righteousness and truth. All right, you know, who mouths speak of excellent things. So I'm not speaking of that in general, but even those men, what? Hey, you gotta watch the lesson. You know, oh, that, you know, as apostle just shared, you know, this the elder out here, you know, one of the, you know, from 0788, you know, you gotta watch the lesson, man. Right? And then when you watch it, you gotta understand it. You can't be in a feel good or this, you know, this you know, great lesson. You know, and ain't really get nothing out of it. So let's not lackadaisically watch a lesson or press it because of the title and then just go straight way to Shad, man. All right. You mean, come on, how you laboring? You know, the man that labored, you go to see what he labored of. All right, or how he build. You know, so you could build up on it before you give it, to someone else who may, don't understand that, through the Spirit we believe men are set up to teach us and lead us and guide us, all right, and that we trust in them, all right. But this Sirach 19:16. I'll start at 13. Admonish a friend, it may be he had not done it. It's really 16. I'm using this as an example. I just read down where I'm at. And if he have not done it, that he do it no more. Admonish thy friend, it may be he had not said it, and if he have, that he speak it not again. Admonish a friend, for many times is a slander, and believe not every tale. And it's going into, kind of, what a friend would say. All right. But this was the point. I don't know why I went up there. There is one that's slipping in his speech, but not from his heart. So it ain't just from when a man offend. He can slip in his speech or say something towards, but a man can slip because he, speaking words. Here you're having men doing lessons 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour, speaking the words of righteousness. Now, we do trust in the Ruach HaKodesh, but that can be a little slippage of the tongue. That's all I'm saying in the video. A man can break something down wrong, but unless you watch it, you can't go and reprove him and rebuke him and tell him, hey, well, you went off right here. That's why you see videos come back up of elder brothers, that, hey, I broke this down. Here's the correction on that. Right? Remember, these words are inspired by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. And the heart is controlled, so is the tongue. You see? Of the Lord. So the Lord let men slip in their tongue. There ain't nothing you can do about that. We want to say the right things. Our speech. We want our speech to always be of excellent things, right? Because a righteous man teach wisdom and add learning to his lips. So if he's adding learning to his lips and speaking learning, you have to hear the learning. All right? Before you can teach it or give it to somebody. How thus can you know? So, you see? It says he's slipping his tongue, but not from his heart. And who is he that had not offended with his tongue? So that's crossed the board. That's crossed the board. So when you do good, know it to whom thou doest it. Right? Because you want this truth is a good thing, man. It's good titans. So when it's catered and delivered, as it's catered and delivered unto you, men look after saying the right things. Saying sound things that's according to the doctrine and the Spirit of the Lord. So when you cater it or give it to somebody, you might want to did some inspection work, man. Shut a lesson and Jake ain't even watched the lesson, man. That's crazy to me. All right? This is and Jake, come on, Jake. You do it. I'm pretty sure I have did it as well. For the betterment of the video. Now, how about that? Right? How about that? So, but just going into the acknowledgement, we have to be on. We have to just be real with ourselves, man. I know, matter of fact, I know I've did it before. You shot so many videos over the years and you just like, yeah, that brother on fire, he done did it. But again, right, if we're watchmen, should we not then watch the epistle? If we had, if we had to carry an epistle, we had to read over it before we deliver it, you know, then what? Now we know the Spirit of the Lord is working through these epistles, all right, and they're getting out to whom they need to get out to, and it's sound doctrine, but we still understand through the inspiration of the Lord, and we as men, all right, we can just, you know, we can fall short sometimes, man. That's all I'm saying, right? We're just not perfect. That's all I'm saying. Not say we, this is a epistle for everybody. It don't matter who you are. Right? I had mentioned this is Sirach 16:23. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and added learning to his lips. So we have to teach our ear, all right, and to add understanding of what we hear. Right? We all in this thing listening. Right? This Job. This Job 12:11. Do not the ear try words, and the mouth tastes meat? So why would your ear need to try words, man? You see that? You know? That you could discern, right, perverse things. Now, the word of the Lord is not perverse. So again, when sometimes men can say something and you understand what they said, but a new believer or a newcomer can't, you know, figure it out. You know? This is Job 6:30. Is there iniquity in my tongue? Cannot my taste discern perverse things? So it's not, you know, it's not no iniquity in the righteous tongue. All right. And your tongue discern perverse things, and sometimes we just say things that's not conducive to the lesson. And again, we speak as, you know, brothers are speaking many words. You can say, oh, I'm gonna get on a lesson and say less words. That's why a brother be like, hey, you know, if that's possible, get on a video, do a shorter lesson. But sometimes the Spirit carried a video, the epistle, all right, to a lengthy video, and then now you have to multiply your words, all right. But again, because it's some type of flattering title, all right, you know, or you know, this is a title you haven't seen before. Well, you need to see what the lesson entails, man. You know? Back in the Proverbs. (16:24). Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. There's a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So you can speak, your tongue hold death in it, you know? So if our tongues hold life in it, we have to check to see to make sure it's always giving life, man. You know? Because if you go off on this doctrine, you know, if the doctrine not sound, then there's death in your tongue, in your heart, man. Right? Tell you in Proverbs 16:1 that the preparations of the heart of man and the answers of the tongue is from the Lord. So every man done slipped in his speech, so the Lord will allow us to slip, man. And that's part of examining, you know, when you're doing lessons is and different things like that. You got to go and watch your lesson, man. You know, you could go watch a lesson and then you can edit. You know, it's things you can do. You can take them out. You can delete them. You know, and all men have deleted or edited lessons because, you know, it wasn't. You know, they speech may have you know, slipped, and you know, it just wasn't as edifying or whatever the case may be. But the point of the matter is that they watch, man. See? It says, he that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. So sometimes, you know, a man mouth urge him on. So your ear gotta be aware of that. So again, you got all sorts of men. All right. You got all sorts of men bringing out the word of the Lord, man. And you just share his video. You know what we doing. You know? All right. I can understand if it's men who've been laboring for years, and you know, men are aware of that man, and that man have a good report. But even with a good report, you know, a man can come up short in his speech. It says, an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there's a burning fire. Every man speaking the word of the Lord can have a pistol sound good, but then there can be a burning fire in his heart. All right? For digging up evil. Many men spoke good, but guess what? They had evil in their heart. A forward man saw a strife and a whisper, Salaki. That's pretty much it. And the whisper separates ye friends. I'm going to 30. A violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into a way that is not good. Many men teaching this thing of their own belly. They violent, right there all over the place in these other camps, different things, man. You know, that's what the lesson is titled, The Woman Jake just shared, man. Go see what was said about the woman, man. Go see if those things was true. You know? Well, you know, this gonna be a good one. It says, he shutted his eyes to devise forward things, moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. So, you know, a man can be taken in his speech, all right? And any man can be taken in his speech, you know? Again, you know. So that's that. I'm gonna get out of here with this. This is Romans, all right, 16. Because this is, you know, what it is. This is Romans 16 and 18. For they that are such serve not our Mashiach Yahushua, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. So again, the simple believe every word. Because even of ourselves, we study and watch brothers' videos and learn, all right? And you know, measure if they of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, man. And the way we waited and watched for a man to maybe slip in his speech, so we can say what, you know, was on that brother heart. We know who's serving the Lord, you know, in truth and sincerity. You know, the Lord, the words that the men speak that are truthfully for the Lord, you know, the entrance of their words give it light, as it says in Psalms 119 and 130. It give it understanding to the simple. So if it does, right, understanding need to be carefully considered and looked after, right? If you're going to give somebody understanding, in Proverbs 14 and 15, the simple believe every word. So they don't know. And so since they don't know, they become innocent, right? And we become the ones guilty if we get them on faulty speeches, man. But the prudent man looketh well to his going. So when you prune the wisdom and the insight you receive, the understanding and the knowledge, you know that the word of the Lord is right, all right? Then you judge it all right, and then you give it to another. But prior to that, watch the lesson, man, all right, before you share the video. It's just an epistle of admonishment. So Adawan Ratazada was edifying, man. Till next time, I'm going to say shalom.